Hi, everybody. Kevin Barhade here. Thanks for tuning in. This is one of the conversations that I've been meaning to have for a while, and it's hard to know where to start, so I'll just jump right in. There is a need for me to give you all a trigger warning. I'll be talking about childhood sexual abuse, and that can be disturbing to some. If this bothers you at any point in time, please pause this, stop it, take a step away, and talk to someone if you need to. I was molested when I was 9 years old by my 4-H leader, and I was molested again when I was 15. I was raped by 2 men. And I know for anyone that is in the middle of suffering from abuse, it doesn't feel like it's happened to anyone else. It feels like it's only you, and I can understand that. I know when it happened to me, I didn't understand what was happening. I was confused by what was happening. Actually, it wasn't until I was an adult that I even understood what had happened. I wish I had known that. I wish there was a time when I was young, when I had known to pick up the phone, when I had known to reach out, when I had had some kind of access to someone who could have told me what's happening isn't healthy, what's happening isn't right. What's happening shouldn't be happening to you, it shouldn't be happening to your body, it shouldn't be happening to your mind, and it shouldn't be happening to your soul. If help was available, I wasn't aware of it, and even if it was, I don't think I was capable of accessing it, of reaching out and even understanding what I needed. But through those years, I will tell you, I remember there were some people who did reach out. During the time when I was in foster homes, in group homes, on probation, in and out of trouble, struggled with the drugs and alcohol, there were a few. There was one probation officer, Bernie in particular, and one counselor from a group home, Jane. Jane's not with us anymore. She passed away recently and was a wonderful friend all the way through, even till recently. Both these people, I don't remember them doing anything extra special. I don't remember them knowing anything more than anyone else, or even telling me anything better or worse or different than anyone else did. There was something about the way that this social worker and this probation officer approached me that stuck with me. And it was something more than just that they cared about me, because I knew they cared, and many people cared. They seemed to see something in me that they believed in. They trusted not only in their own instinct to lift me up and to encourage me, they trusted in me to stand up and to take the next step on my own. It didn't always work. It wasn't something that I was capable of in that moment. It wasn't something that I knew how to embrace and to make my own, but it stuck with me. When they told me, "You can do this, Kevin, we believe in you, we know that you have these abilities." When they believed it and they knew it and they told me, somehow those seeds that they were planting stayed with me. And while those seeds that they had planted all those years ago had laid dormant for so long, waiting, it was in the recovery process that those seeds found nutrients, sunshine, water, so that they could grow. And those nutrients I found in 12-step groups. I found in other self-help avenues. I found in therapy, and I found in a spiritual path that I chose. But all those nutrients that I found in recovery would have had no effect or little effect on those seeds that had been planted if I didn't have a foundation, if I didn't have fertile soil for those seeds to put down roots. And it was that fertile soil that became the foundation for the really uncommon healing. And that uncommon healing, that uncommon pathway for me has been what we're doing right here. Throughout the past 33 plus years, I've struggled day in and day out, most days, to understand that I wasn't alone, to understand that this wasn't just me. It's been talking and listening. It's been sharing and identifying. It's been understanding the pieces of myself that are broken, that are not so uncommon, that are all too common in each one of us. The day that I think that I knew my healing path had begun was probably the day when I shared with someone and they said, "Yeah, me too. Something like that happened to me." And I wasn't surprised. Those were the times when I started to understand there was something that had changed in me. It wasn't this hope that every time I shared my story that someone would say, "Me too," but it was the understanding that 1 out of 6 times the odds are when I share my story, one of you is going to say, "Yeah, that happened to me," or "That happened to my cousin," or "That happened to my uncle," or my mother, or my father, or my brother, or my sister or my friend or my husband or my wife. One of the most painful pieces is when I tell someone, this happened to me, and they burst into tears or break down crying, or I can see it in their face, and they say, that happened to my child. Someone abused my child in that same way. That breaks my heart. It makes me want to cry, but for some reason, I hold up instead. I hold up the hope. Not only the hope that they can see that I've healed, but that they can help their children. That they can be there for their children. And they can be there for their uncle and for their mother and their father and their friends and their relatives. And we can be there for each other. That's the whole point of this video. That's the whole point of these videos. That's the whole point of this channel. And even more than that, it's the whole point of any communication that I try to have with anyone around these issues, around the issues of addiction or recovery or adoption and abandonment and the healing process. That's the whole point. If I hadn't traveled down the road as far as I have, if I didn't feel like I was on the other side of many of these issues, not fully healed, believe me, not fully whole, maybe never fully whole, but if I hadn't traveled this path, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Not because it wouldn't be appropriate or not because I would be too afraid to, because I don't think that's the point of what I'm doing here. That's not the point of what we're trying to achieve. The point is, no matter who you see and where they are in the process, 1 out of 6 men have been abused. 1 out of 6 men have been sexually assaulted, sexually molested. So when we look out, no matter what we see, whether it's someone that's struggling and obviously in pain or someone who looks like they have it all together, let's not judge that. Let's just look at each other and say none of that really matters. How together we've got it, where we are in the healing process, how healthy we are, what we have, what we've done, what we've accomplished, what we've yet to accomplish, none of that matters. The fertile soil that allows for the healing, that allows for this foundation, is the love and the empathy and the caring, the openness, and the willingness to talk about these things with each other. To talk about them from our heart, to open our hearts and open our minds to each other, and to share this with the world is what I'd like to say here. When we can open our hearts and our minds and open our lives to each other in this way and in the best way possible, share our experience, strength, and hope. That's what allows us to have this fertile soil. That's what allows us to have this foundation. So when the seeds of people who love us and care about us and say to us, I know you can do this. I know that you have it in you. I know you can heal from this. I know you can become the person that you've always wanted to be. Those seeds, when they're nourished with water and sunlight from love and caring from all those around us, as we gather these forces, they have a place to put their roots down. And those roots are into these relationships that we build here. They're into these communities that we latch onto and we hold on to, and we want them so that we can become whole as individuals and in community together. Just yesterday, I got a message from somebody on Twitter that I've gotten to know. And they said, thank you so much for sharing all the things that you've shared. I haven't experienced them myself, and I didn't know anyone that had, but I just found a long-lost uncle. Their father had passed away, but they found their father's brother, and they just found out that that father's brother had actually been molested and been hurt. And they're thanking me because the foundation that I've got here, this community that we're building together, and this personal foundation that I've got here, and this path to healing, has given me a platform and the ability to share these stories with others so that when they meet other people and they find other people in their life, they've got the ability to empathize with that person. And they've got the ability to say, I can be here for this person. I can show up for them. And that's all I'm trying to do here is show up. That's all I'm trying to do is show up, and that's all I'm asking any of you to do is show up. Please make sure you share these videos with other people. If you can, email them to people or share them with other people or just tell people about this channel. Not for me. This isn't for me. I don't need to do this for me. I want to do this for us, and I want us all to do it together. I hope you'll subscribe. I know a lot of people are watching this. They may not be subscribed. Please subscribe. Please share this for the betterment of our community, for our foundation, for our path to healing. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thanks for spending the time. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.